Hello there, wonderful folks. It's great to be chatting with you again today. You know, as we journey through our golden years, staying vibrant and healthy becomes more important than ever, doesn't it? We hear so much advice, read so many articles, eat this, don't eat that. And often we try our best to follow along, choosing foods we believe are nourishing us, helping us live longer, fuller lives. Many of us reach for a handful of nuts, thinking it's the perfect healthy snack. Doctors recommend them, dietitians praise them for their healthy fats, protein, and fiber. They seem like little powerhouses of nutrition, right? We sprinkle them on our oatmeal, toss them in salads, or just munch on them straight from the bag, feeling good about our choice. But what if I told you that some of the very nuts you believe are benefiting you could actually be working against you? What if some popular choices, especially for those of us over 60, might be contributing to fatigue, inflammation, digestive issues, or even more serious health problems down the line? Sounds shocking, I know. It goes against much of what we've been told. But today we need to have a frank conversation. Because sometimes even seemingly healthy foods can have hidden downsides, especially as our bodies change with age. Our digestive systems might become more sensitive, our ability to process certain compounds might decrease, and inflammation can become a more persistent issue. In this video we're going to uncover a difficult truth. We're going to look at 5 specific nuts that, despite their reputation, you might need to stop eating immediately. Now, I know the title is alarming. They are killing you. And that's meant to grab your attention because this is serious. We're not talking about immediate poisoning, of course, but rather the potential for these nuts, when consumed regularly or prepared in certain ways, to contribute insidiously to chronic health conditions, accelerate aging, and ultimately shorten your precious lifespan. It's about understanding the potential risks that often get overlooked in the mainstream health narrative. We need to be informed consumers, especially when it comes to our well-being after 60. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's dive into the first nut on our warning list. This one might really surprise you because it's incredibly common, found in kitchens all across the country. We're talking about peanuts. Yes, peanuts. Now, technically, I know peanuts are legumes, not tree nuts. But nutritionally and how we use them in our diets, they function much like nuts, and they often get lumped into the same category. Many of us grew up eating peanut butter sandwiches, grabbing handfuls of roasted peanuts at ball games, or using peanut oil for cooking. They seem harmless, even beneficial. But there are a few significant concerns, particularly for older adults. The first major issue with peanuts is their susceptibility to aflatoxins. Aflatoxins are toxic compounds produced by certain types of molds, specifically Aspergillus flavus and Aspergillus parasiticus. These molds can grow on crops like peanuts, especially if they are grown or stored in warm, humid conditions. Now, regulatory agencies in most developed countries have limits on aflatoxin levels in food. However, trace amounts can still be present, and the long-term effects of chronic low-level exposure are concerning. Aflatoxins are known carcinogens, meaning they can increase the risk of cancer, particularly liver cancer. As we age, our body's detoxification systems might not be as robust as they once were, potentially making us more vulnerable to the cumulative effects of toxins like these. Think about it, years and years of consuming peanut products, even with seemingly low levels of aflatoxins, could potentially contribute to a toxic burden over time. It's not an immediate threat, but a slow, creeping danger that undermines your health from the inside out. Buying peanuts from reputable sources and storing them properly, cool, dry place, can help minimize risk, but the potential for contamination is inherent to the peanut itself, especially in certain climates or if handling practices aren't optimal. Beyond aflatoxins, there's the issue of omega-6 fatty acids. Peanuts are quite high in omega-6 linoleic acid. Now, omega-6 fats aren't inherently bad, they are essential fatty acids. The problem arises when our intake of omega-6 vastly outweighs our intake of omega-3s, found in fatty fish, flax seeds, walnuts. The typical Western diet is already skewed heavily towards omega-6, and adding large amounts of peanuts or peanut oil can worsen this imbalance. Why does this matter? An excessive omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is strongly linked to chronic inflammation throughout the body. And inflammation, as we know, is a key driver of many age-related diseases: heart disease, arthritis, dementia, and even certain cancers. That constant, low-grade inflammation fueled by dietary imbalances can make you feel sluggish, achy, and contribute to that feeling of accelerated aging. So, while a few peanuts occasionally might be fine, relying on them as a primary snack or using peanut oil regularly could be fanning the flames of inflammation, silently damaging your health over time. And let's not forget lectins and phytic acid. Peanuts, being legumes, contain these antinutrients. Lectins can interfere with nutrient absorption and potentially damage the gut lining, contributing to digestive issues and possibly even leaky gut syndrome, which triggers more inflammation. Phytic acid binds to minerals like zinc, iron, calcium, and magnesium in your digestive tract, preventing your body from absorbing them effectively. As we get older, maintaining adequate mineral levels is crucial for bone health, immune function, and energy production. Regularly consuming high phytate foods like peanuts without proper preparation, like soaking or sprouting, which most commercial peanut products don't undergo, could contribute to mineral deficiencies, even if you think you're eating a nutrient-rich diet. It's like putting good fuel in your car, but something is blocking the fuel line. So, while peanuts offer some protein and fats, the potential risks from aflatoxins, the inflammatory omega-6 imbalance, and the presence of anti-nutrients make them a food that seniors in particular should be very cautious about, perhaps even eliminating them entirely to see if symptoms like fatigue, joint pain, or digestive upset improve. It's certainly not the simple health food many believe it to be. Now, moving on from the humble peanut, let's talk about another nut that often finds its way into health food aisles and trail mixes, praised for one specific, powerful nutrient. But could too much of this good thing actually be harmful? Let's consider Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are famous for their incredibly high selenium content. Selenium is an essential trace mineral, crucial for thyroid function, immune health, and acting as a potent antioxidant. And yes, getting enough selenium is important. However, Brazil nuts contain so much selenium that it's remarkably easy to consume toxic amounts. Just one single Brazil nut can contain anywhere from 68 to 91 micrograms mcg of selenium, sometimes even more depending on the soil it grew in. The recommended daily upper limit for selenium intake for adults is 400 micrograms. Eating just 4 or 5 Brazil nuts could easily push you over this limit. Chronic overconsumption of selenium leads to a condition called selenosis. Early symptoms can be surprisingly subtle and might be easily dismissed as just part of getting older. Garlic breath or a metallic taste in the mouth, hair loss, brittle nails, skin rashes, fatigue, irritability, and neurological issues. More severe symptoms can include gastrointestinal problems, nerve damage, and in extreme cases, even respiratory distress or kidney failure. Because Brazil nuts are often marketed as a superfood for thyroid health or immunity, it's easy for well-meaning individuals, especially those looking to boost their health naturally, to think more is better, and consume several nuts a day. They might be trying to do something good for their body, but unknowingly be poisoning themselves slowly with excess selenium. Think about that. A food actively promoted for health could be causing fatigue, hair loss, and nerve issues if you're not incredibly careful with the dose. The line between beneficial and toxic is dangerously thin with Brazil nuts. It's not like other nuts where you can eat a reasonable handful without worry. Here, just a few nuts too many, consumed consistently, could lead to significant health problems that chip away at your vitality. The risk of accidental toxicity, especially for those who might forget how many they've eaten or who aren't aware of the potent concentration, makes Brazil nuts a potentially hazardous food to keep in the pantry, particularly for daily consumption. It's a stark reminder that even natural foods need to be approached with caution and knowledge. The very thing that makes them special, their selenium content, is also what makes them potentially dangerous if not treated with extreme respect and moderation, perhaps even avoidance altogether to be safe. It's truly surprising how something seemingly healthy can pose such distinct risks, isn't it? And these are just the first 2 on our list. There are others lurking in our cupboards that carry their own set of potential dangers we need to be aware of. Okay, let's continue our conversation about these nuts that might not be serving our health as well as we think, especially as we navigate our later years. We've talked about the potential hidden dangers in peanuts and the surprisingly easy to overdose selenium in Brazil nuts. Now, let's turn our attention to a nut that many people adore for its creamy texture and slightly sweet taste, often found in stir-fries, vegan cheese alternatives, or just enjoyed roasted and salted. I'm talking about cashews. Cashews seem like such a luxurious, benign treat, don't they? They blend beautifully into creamy sauces and add a satisfying crunch to meals. But there are a few things about cashews that warrant a closer look, particularly concerning how they are processed and their potential impact on our bodies. Firstly, did you know that you can't actually buy truly raw cashews? The raw cashews you see in stores have actually been steamed or roasted at a low temperature. This isn't just for flavor, it's a crucial safety step. The shell surrounding the cashew kernel contains a caustic phenolic resin called cardol, the same family of toxins found in poison ivy. This oil is incredibly irritating and can cause severe skin reactions and inflammation if handled improperly. The heating process neutralizes this oil, making the kernel safe to eat. However, there's always a slight possibility of trace contamination, especially if the processing isn't meticulous. For individuals with sensitive systems, even minute amounts of irritants could potentially contribute to low-grade inflammation or digestive upset over time. It might not be an obvious reaction, but a subtle, nagging issue that you can't quite pinpoint. Furthermore, like peanuts, cashews contain phytic acid. As we discussed earlier, phytic acid can bind to essential minerals, zinc, iron, magnesium, calcium, hindering their absorption. Why is this particularly relevant for us after 60? Well, maintaining adequate mineral status is absolutely vital as we age. Calcium and magnesium are crucial for bone density and preventing osteoporosis. Zinc is essential for immune function and wound healing. Iron is needed to prevent anemia and maintain energy levels. Regularly consuming foods high in phytic acid, like cashews, especially if they form a significant part of your snack routine, could inadvertently be working against your efforts to stay mineral-rich and healthy. You might be taking supplements or eating other mineral-rich foods, but the phytic acid in cashews could be partially blocking the benefits. Proper preparation methods like soaking can reduce phytate levels, but again, most commercially available cashews aren't prepared this way. Another point to consider is how cashews are often consumed. While plain, unsalted cashews exist, they are frequently sold roasted in vegetable oils, which can be inflammatory omega-6 oils, worsening that imbalance we talked about with peanuts, and heavily salted. Excess sodium, as we know, is a major concern for blood pressure management, something many seniors need to monitor closely. That handful of seemingly innocent salted cashews could be contributing significantly to your daily sodium intake, potentially leading to water retention, increased blood pressure, and putting extra strain on your heart and kidneys. And like many nuts, cashews with their fat content are susceptible to becoming rancid if not stored properly or if they sit on the shelf for too long. Rancid fats contain free radicals, which cause oxidative stress in the body. Oxidative stress is like internal rusting. It damages cells, accelerates the aging process, and contributes to virtually every chronic disease, from heart disease to cognitive decline. That slightly off-tasting cashew might be doing more harm than just displeasing your palate. It could be actively promoting aging at a cellular level. So, while cashews can offer some nutritional benefits like copper and magnesium, if you can absorb it, the potential for processing irritants, the presence of phytic acid, the common additions of unhealthy fats and salt, and the risk of rancidity make them another nut to approach with caution, or perhaps remove from your regular rotation to see if you feel better. Moving on to our fourth nut. This one is often enjoyed cracked straight from its shell, sometimes dyed red around the holidays, and has a distinctive flavor. Let's talk about pistachios. Pistachios are often lauded for their antioxidants, fiber, and lower fat content compared to some other nuts. They can be quite enjoyable to eat. However, they share a significant risk with peanuts, aflatoxins. Pistachios are unfortunately quite prone to contamination by those same nasty molds that produce aflatoxins, especially if the shells crack open prematurely on the tree or if they are stored in damp conditions. Again, while regulatory bodies monitor levels, chronic low-level exposure is the concern. That steady trickle of a potent liver toxin over years and years could potentially contribute to liver damage or increase cancer risk, particularly as our body's detoxification pathways might become less efficient with age. The risk is considered higher in pistachios than in many other tree nuts. Choosing pistachios from reputable sources, ideally stored in their shells, as the shell offers some protection, and ensuring they smell and look fresh is important, but the inherent risk remains. Is it worth taking that gamble regularly? Then there's the salt factor, which is often even more pronounced with pistachios than with cashews. Those bright green kernels are frequently roasted and heavily salted to enhance their flavor and encourage consumption. It's easy to sit and mindlessly crack open and eat a large number of salted pistachios while watching television or chatting with friends. Before you know it, you've consumed a significant amount of sodium, potentially pushing your blood pressure up, causing uncomfortable bloating or swelling in your hands and feet, and putting extra stress on your cardiovascular system. High blood pressure is a silent killer, contributing to heart attacks, strokes, and kidney disease, all major health concerns for the over 60 population. Opting for unsalted pistachios is certainly a better choice, but they can be harder to find and perhaps less appealing to some. Even then, the aflatoxin risk persists. And just like cashews, pistachios contain fats that can go rancid. If they taste stale, bitter, or just off, it's best to discard them. Consuming rancid pistachios introduces harmful free radicals that promote oxidative stress and inflammation, accelerating the aging process and contributing to chronic disease development. Given the potential combination of aflatoxin exposure, high sodium content in many popular varieties, and the risk of rancidity, pistachios join our list of nuts that might be better left off the grocery list, or at least consumed very rarely and with extreme caution regarding freshness and sourcing. It's about weighing the perceived benefits against these potentially serious, cumulative risks that can silently undermine your health goals as you age. We want foods that build us up, not ones that carry hidden hazards. Thinking about these nuts, peanuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, pistachios, it becomes clear that the healthy snack label isn't always straightforward. Factors like processing, storage, hidden toxins, anti-nutrients, and added ingredients can turn a seemingly good choice into something potentially detrimental, particularly for our changing bodies after 60. It's not about fear-mongering, it's about being informed and making conscious choices for our long-term vitality. Okay, let's continue our important discussion. We've explored the surprising downsides of peanuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, and pistachios, looking beyond the health halo to understand potential risks like toxins, mineral blockers, inflammatory fats, and processing issues. Now, we arrive at our fifth and final nut for today, one that is perhaps the most popular health nut out there, often recommended by doctors and dietitians alike. We're talking about almonds. I know. Almonds? Aren't they supposed to be nutritional superstars? Packed with vitamin E, magnesium, fiber, healthy fats, they seem like the gold standard. And indeed, in their purest form, almonds do offer significant benefits. However, the way most almonds are grown, processed, and consumed today introduces several potential problems, especially for those of us prioritizing our health in our later years. First, let's talk about pasteurization. You might be surprised to learn that in North America, truly raw almonds are hard to come by commercially. Due to concerns about salmonella outbreaks linked to almonds years ago, regulations now mandate pasteurization. This is often done either through high-heat steam treatment or, more controversially, using a chemical fumigant called propylene oxide or PPO. PPO is classified as a probable human carcinogen and is banned for use on food in many other parts of the world, including the European Union. While the industry claims residue levels are safe, many health-conscious individuals are understandably concerned about regularly consuming nuts treated with a chemical like this. Does that align with your goal of eating clean, natural foods for optimal health? Steam pasteurization is generally considered safer, but it can still alter the nutrient profile and enzyme activity slightly compared to truly raw nuts. Finding truly unpasteurized almonds often requires sourcing them directly from smaller farms or specific suppliers, which isn't always practical. Then, just like peanuts and cashews, almonds contain phytic acid. Located primarily in the brown skin, phytic acid acts as a mineral chelator, binding to essential minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron in your digestive tract and preventing their full absorption. We keep coming back to this because mineral absorption becomes even more critical as we age. We need every bit of calcium and magnesium for our bones, zinc for our immune system, and iron for energy. Regularly eating handfuls of unsoaked almonds, especially with their skins on, could be limiting your body's ability to utilize these vital nutrients from your entire meal, not just from the almonds themselves. Soaking almonds overnight in water and then rinsing and drying them can significantly reduce the phytic acid content, making the minerals more bioavailable. But how many of us are actually doing that with the almonds we snack on? And let's be honest about how most almonds are sold and eaten. While plain, raw, or steam pasteurized, almonds are available. Walk down any snack aisle and you'll see shelves loaded with roasted, salted, smoked, honey-glazed, or cocoa-dusted almonds. Roasting often involves using industrial vegetable oils, like sunflower or canola oil, which are high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. This contributes to that detrimental imbalance with omega-3s, fueling chronic inflammation, the very thing we want to avoid for healthy aging, joint health, and cognitive function. Then comes the salt. Salted almonds can pack a hefty sodium punch, problematic for blood pressure control. And those flavored varieties? They often contain added sugars, artificial flavors, MSG, monosodium glutamate, a neurotoxin for sensitive individuals, and other chemical additives that have no place in a health-promoting diet. Reading the ingredient list on flavored almonds can be quite an eye-opener. Are you eating almonds or a chemical cocktail disguised as a health food? Finally, like all nuts with their delicate fats, almonds are susceptible to rancidity. Their high unsaturated fat content, while healthy when fresh, makes them prone to spoiling if exposed to heat, light, or air for too long. Eating rancid almonds means consuming oxidized fats, which generate harmful free radicals that damage our cells and contribute to oxidative stress, a major driver of aging and chronic disease. That bag of almonds sitting in your pantry for months might not be doing you any favors. Always store almonds and other nuts in a cool, dark, airtight container, preferably in the refrigerator or freezer, and use them relatively quickly. If they taste bitter or stale, toss them out. So, while almonds can be part of a healthy diet, the common commercially available versions, potentially treated with PPO, unsoaked and high in phytic acid, roasted in inflammatory oils, loaded with salt or artificial ingredients, and possibly rancid, pose significant risks that can outweigh the benefits, especially when consumed regularly. Looking back at all 5, peanuts, Brazil nuts, cashews, pistachios, and almonds, a pattern emerges. It's not always the nut itself in its natural state, but often how it's grown, potential for toxins like aflatoxins, how it naturally protects itself, phytic acid, lectins, how it's processed, PPO, cardal residue, roasting oils, what's added, salt, sugar, flavors, or how easily it can spoil, rancidity. And sometimes, like with Brazil nuts, even its natural superpower, selenium, can become a danger in excess. This isn't meant to make you afraid of food, or to suggest you must eliminate every single nut from your diet forever. Not at all. The goal here is empowerment through knowledge. It's about understanding that not all health foods are created equal, and that blindly following general advice without considering the nuances can sometimes lead us down the wrong path. It's about becoming a discerning consumer, especially now when our health and vitality are so precious. So what's the takeaway? Be mindful. Read labels carefully. Question where your food comes from and how it's been treated. If you choose to eat nuts, perhaps focus on those generally considered safer, like walnuts, great source of omega-3s, pecans or macadamia nuts, ensuring they are fresh, unsalted, and stored properly. Consider soaking nuts like almonds if you do eat them to reduce phytic acid. Most importantly, listen to your own body. How do you feel after eating certain foods? Do you notice fatigue, digestive discomfort, joint aches, or brain fog? Your body often knows best. These seemingly small choices, choosing a different snack, preparing a food differently, or simply leaving something off your plate, can accumulate over time to make a profound difference in how you feel day to day and your overall health trajectory for years to come. Remember, you are in the driver's seat of your health journey. Every choice matters, and armed with the right information, you can make choices that truly nourish and support your well-being, helping you feel vibrant, energetic, and strong at any age. Don't let seemingly healthy habits subtly undermine your efforts. Be critical, be curious, and prioritize what makes you feel your absolute best. I truly hope this discussion has been enlightening and helpful for you. It's a topic I feel passionate about because small hinges swing big doors when it comes to our health. What are your thoughts on this? Have you had experiences, good or bad, with any of these nuts? Or perhaps you have other healthy snack alternatives you'd like to share with our community. Please, let us know down in the comments section below. Sharing our experiences helps us all learn and grow together. And if you found this information valuable today, if it gave you something to think about, please do give this video a thumbs up. It really helps support the channel and allows us to reach more people who might benefit from this knowledge. And of course, if you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on our future videos packed with practical tips and insights for thriving in your best years. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. It's always a pleasure to connect with you. Remember to be kind to yourself, make informed choices, and keep striving for the vibrant health you deserve. Here's to living your very best life, full of energy and joy starting today. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.